President Biden said he is working with Congress to designate Kenya as a major non-NATO ally. He made this announcement as part of the state visit of Kenya's president.
Our new global partnership is going to build on all this progress. We're going to meet new challenges with more resources. And it's going to strengthen the security of our countries and our countries around the world.
Nancy Cordes joins us now from the White House. Of course, Nancy, this state visit is about not only things present, but things in the future, using Kenya as a counterweight to China, NATO non-membership, but important. But also, very immediately, Kenya is leading efforts in Haiti, and both presidents talked about that extensively, did they not?
They sure did. And in fact, this entire visit is something of a reward for the president of Kenya, who did step up and offer to send peacekeeping troops to Kenya at a time when many other nations refused and when the U.S. itself felt that it would not be wise to do so. President Biden and President Ruto were actually asked about that repeatedly at a press conference here at the White House today. President Biden, interestingly, said he didn't want it to look like the U.S. was stepping on other nations here in the Western Hemisphere. He felt that if the U.S. had sent peacekeeping troops in, that would cause some anxiety in the region about the big neighborhood superpower getting involved. And so he sort of went in search of other countries that would be willing to send in police and peacekeeping troops, and Kenya answered the call. For his part, the Kenyan president was asked by Kenyan reporters why he was willing to do that, send 1,000 peacekeeping troops to Haiti at a time when Kenya's got its own problems with bandits and gangs, and certainly they're in a tough neighborhood surrounded by other countries that are experiencing unrest as well.
Nancy, the president was also asked about the ICC's suggestion that it would pursue arrest warrants for the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. His response.
Super interesting, Major. The International Criminal Court, as you know, earlier this week, a top prosecutor there suggested that he might be seeking to arrest the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for crimes against humanity, war crimes, including, he said, possibly using starvation as a weapon of warfare. Official Washington has spoken out against this. The Secretary of State the other day called it extremely wrong-headed to try to compare Israeli leaders and Hamas leaders, and the president echoed that position today. Take a listen to what he had to say.
We've made our position clear on the ICC. We don't recognize the jurisdiction of ICC the way it's being exercised, and it's that simple. We don't think there's an equivalence between what Israel did and what Hamas did.
Important to note that many countries, including the U.S., China, Russia, Israel itself, don't recognize the ICC's jurisdiction. So it's unlikely that Prime Minister Netanyahu is going to be let off in handcuffs anytime soon. But the Secretary of State did warn this week, Major, that he thinks that it's possible that these moves by the ICC could ratchet up tensions in the Middle East and make it more difficult to broker a ceasefire between Israel and the Palestinians.
Nancy Cordes on the North Lawn, and if your ears were attuned to that, you could hear the fanfare in the background of the state visit of the Kenyan president. Nancy Cordes, thank you very much.